1995-96 in Madurai Kamaraj University College. I listened to him at that point of time. So I still remember we had organized a function called FACSA, Finance and Control Association. We conducted a program. At that time we went and invited him. At the time sir was owning a company called Can Brokers, a stockbroking company. He worked there. So a passionate investment analyst and portfolio manager. And now he is into a different domain. Rather than me telling about his company, definitely he will be introducing you about his company. I'm sure many of you might have seen his website. So if you want to see IIM and IITs working in Madurai, yes, come visit Chela Software. So it's the rarest thing happening, and Madurai, an IT company from Madurai who is recruiting IITs and IIM, they're coming down here for project. A big point of attraction to appreciate Chela Software at this point of time. Thank you, sir. It's not that easy. In Madurai Lake market, getting the cream of creamy layer people and growing a company with all the challenges. So it's our pleasure, a man of strategy, a man of vision, a simple, humble man. He'll be able to listen a lot. I feel for many of you, if you are fitting enough for his profile, Chela Software should be a dream company for you all to work with. So instead of wasting much of the time, I would like to invite my colleague Dr. Kovaleli to kickstart the discussion. After that, we will have the session from Kathir Kamanathan. It will be for about 40-45 minutes. After that, we can have question and session. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Good afternoon to Mr. Kathir Kamanathan, the guest for the day in our induction program, 8th day of our Student Induction Program. So we are all very fortunate to listen to you, sir. I think you had come to our institute 20 years before, a long back, as a guest lecturer. Today is one of the most sought after fintech person in the country. I think MS has already told about the profiling from IIM Cal, and most of the interns from IIM and IITs are working in this office in Madurai. I think his office in the Elcott. So as please make use of the session. You cannot meet him, so he has found time for our institute and he wants to interact with you. So please use the time. So please be alert and then try to interact with him and get the financial acumen from you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
So as a part of learning, our students have made ready a very brief video, audio clip on YouTube using AI voice. So let us listen to that, then we'll begin the session. So over to Kirti Bhargav.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are honored to have with us a distinguished leader and visionary in the field of software development, Mr. Kathir Kamanathan. A proud alumnus of the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, Mr. Kamanathan has carved a niche for himself as the Managing Director and founder of Chela Software Private Limited. Under his exceptional leadership, Chela Software has emerged as a trailblazer in providing innovative and comprehensive software solutions. His unwavering commitment to excellence and relentless pursuit of cutting-edge technology have propelled and accolades across the industry. Mr. Kamanathan's journey is a testament to the power of passion, determination, and strategic thinking. His expertise and insights have not only transformed businesses, but also inspired countless individuals to strive for greatness. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Kathir Kamanathan. We are thrilled to have him share his invaluable experiences and knowledge with us today.
Thank you, sir. The stage is yours. Yes, thanks.
So it's wonderful to see you all here. I've been here a long time ago, like you said. A little bit shows my age. I was there when he was just passing out of college. So very happy to be here. Also, I like the way the induction has been put together. So I've not seen such an elaborate induction in any of the institutions. It's almost 2 weeks, 2 weeks of various activities and so on. I think that's very nicely done. And congratulations to everyone who participated in that. And I think the students must consider themselves lucky that they are going through this stuff and explore. So you wanted me to talk a little about being ready for your role as a manager. So that is one side. The other side is, of course, if there are any questions and answers, we're actually happy to answer. Because there are certain things that you will have in your mind, certain questions, doubts that you have, we'll be very happy to answer. So we can do this if you wish, a mixture of Tamil and English if you want. I'm a lot more comfortable in Tamil than in English. So we could do it in both languages if it's okay. Bilingual is okay. If you look at any organization, who really does the real work of the organization? Let's take the example of a software company, right? Today we run a software company. Who really does the real work in the software company? They're mostly the engineers, right? The engineers write code, they're testing, they're doing the requirements, they're interacting with customers, they're designing the user interface. All that is being done by the engineers. Then what is the role of a manager in an organization like this? One way to look at it is to say that they manage people, they manage process, they manage a few things. I think a very key responsibility for managers is to inspire people. It's not just manage them. So when the people who are really contributing to the organization's core work, in factory it will be people on the floor, factory floor, right? They are the people really who are manufacturing things and so on. Then what is the role of the manager? Yeah. This works? Yes. So then what is the role of a manager in such an organization? Take that. So in many cases, see, manager's role is a very tricky role. So you will be there somewhere between the senior management and the people who are really contributing to the work, right? And likely to be squeezed from both ends in many cases. Likely to be squeezed from both ends. Pressure மேல வரும், கீழ வந்து people may want to work, people may cooperate, may not cooperate, and so on. So you are in between the two layers. But the thing, if you think that the key role of a manager is to inspire and to make those who are working for you successful, then your entire outlook changes. You are not managing people anymore. You are trying to make them successful. You are trying to give them as much as whatever they want. See, when people come to an organization, when people come and work in an organization, they come with several dreams, several goals. Yeah. Working in the organization is a way to achieve those goals. Very few people have working in an organization itself as a dream. It's a means to achieve another dream. So, then how do you make sure that people are more successful? That's key role. What people want, right? They will say three things. I don't know if you will learn it in the course. They would say autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Right? That is what people are looking for. Autonomy, they must have some independence. People don't get satisfied, right? They want to exercise discretion. அவங்களா டெசிஷன் எடுக்கணும், டெசிஷன் எடுத்து கற்றுக்கணும். They must make a difference. This is what people want to do. Autonomy is a critical portion of what people want. ரொம்ப மைக்ரோ மேனேஜ் பண்ண அட்டானமி இருக்காது, ரொம்ப மேனேஜ் பண்ணாலே அட்டானமி இருக்காது. That is why you need to have facilitation. Right? Autonomy இருக்கணும். That is an important part of anyone's happiness. Whether they want to work in a job, if they want to be happy, autonomy is a very important component. Mastery. People want to become good at what they do. They want to be competent. Right? Mastery, competence. So, college இருந்து வரும்போது when you come to join an organization, will you be ready? Obviously, you're not ready. Like, okay, you're completely raw. நீங்கள் வந்து சேரும்போது நிறையது உங்களுக்கு தெரியாது, என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு தெரியாது. தியரட்டிக்கலாக படிச்சிருப்பீங்க, தியரட்டிக்கலாக படிக்காம கூட இருந்திருப்பீங்க. ஸோ ஆர்கனைசேஷனில் என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப ஐடியா இருக்காது. அதோட இல்லை உங்கள் ஜாபுக்கு என்ன வேணும்னு ரொம்ப ஐடியா இருக்காது. ஸோ யூ ஆர் லேர்னிங் ஆன் த ஜாப். Everybody wants to be a master of what they want to do. That is everybody's dream. Nobody wants to be mediocre. How many of you want to be mediocre in your job and just earn salary? Nobody, I think. Right? That's satisfaction is there. You have to be good in your job. You have to be extremely good in your job. So mastery is the second thing that you're looking for, right? How do you get mastery, and how do you help people who are working for you get mastery? So that's a very responsibility. Right? There's a responsibility to ensure that people who are working for you also are able to get mastery. அப்பதான் அவங்களுக்கு satisfaction. It's not just managing people, வேலை பண்ணியாச்சா பண்ணலையா, டைத்துக்கு வந்தியா வரலையா. That's a different kind of management, right? But when you're looking at a successful manager, you're looking at other aspects. You're looking at the human aspects of things. And how do you make people so happy that the company does well? Customers are happy, the company does well, your job is a lot happier. And when you come to the office, you're more joyful. Okay? Joy is a very important aspect of work. So, heavier pressure வந்துட்டு வந்து வேலை பார்க்கறதுல என்ன இருக்குது? I mean, you almost spend, how many hours in a day do you spend in office typically? நீங்கள் 24 மணி நேரம், 8 மணி நேரம் you probably sleep, right? 16 மணி நேரம். 16 மணி நேரத்தில் almost 8-9 hours you'll be in the office. So 50 to 60% of your life you will be spending in the office. What is the point having so much of stress in that period, right? Your life itself will become not very satisfactory. It's a large portion of your time, large portion of your productive time, your energetic time, and the time is in the office. So an important aspect is not only you should be joyful, you should ensure that people who are with you are joyful. That is number responsibility, and that will come only if you are able to make sure that they are able to grow on their own. And the growth of the autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Purpose is, they must work towards something. Now, many times I tell our own people, see, we are not just writing software, right? We are solving problems. We are solving problems through writing software. And through solving problems, we are helping the country grow. Because we are writing software for a lot of institutions. We are writing software for the Reserve Bank, we are writing software for the National Stock Exchange, for a whole lot of other big institutions. And our software helps those institutions run without failure, to run reliably, to run fast, and to provide the services that need to be provided to the citizens or the investors, whoever the case may be, right? And therefore, we have a part to play in nation building in many ways, because these institutions have to do well for the nation to do well. So it is not just writing code, it's a lot more than writing code. It is a little bit making sure that everybody benefits, everybody around you benefits. There is a purpose in what we do, right? There is not just, you can start a business just to earn money, you can start a business to just pay, you can go to a job just to get salary. Other will not give you any satisfaction. கொஞ்ச நாள் போயிட்டீங்கன்னா அதுக்கப்புறம் bore அடிக்கும். You will not be able to continue. And the stress, the internal stress for you feel guilty, you have a lot of stress. Now I'm going and showing my face in the office, doing things but not very productively, but I'm not at my peak, I'm not able to use myself very well. These are not very good things. You will find yourself very stressed out. Other cause of stress, other cause of office politics. Office politics comes when people don't have work to do, when the people don't have enough productive work to do. And office politics is the most toxic form of stress, right? நீங்கள் ஆஃபீஸ் போனீங்கன்னா how many of you are familiar with work experience யாராவது இருக்கீங்களா?
They have gone for 2 months internship,
Internship.
office.
But most of them have come straight from undergraduate. So if some of you have had work experience, you would know that that is not worth it. You don't want to work in such an organization, right? So who wants to work in such? I mean, you're spending 60% of your life there. You want to do something productive. You want to do something that people will use. So look at management a little differently. Management is not just keeping track of time, keeping track of work done, tasks. That is one aspect of it. That will automatically get done if people are happy. If சந்தோஷமா இருந்தாங்கன்னா அவங்க why would they give you any excuses, right? தெரியலன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, கத்துப்பாங்க, right? You have a and you want to. So when people want to when they don't know how to do something, they will tell you I don't know how to do. And the freedom இருக்கும், அந்த relaxed atmosphere இருக்கும். நிறைய ஆர்கனைசேஷன்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா எனக்கு தெரியலன்னு சொல்றதுக்கு பயப்படுவாங்க, right? That becomes a point where you're judged, right? அந்த மாதிரி ஆர்கனைசேஷன்ல ரொம்ப very difficult to work. ஏன்னா நீங்க தைரியமா சொல்ல முடியும், I don't know what you're talking about, can I learn அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா you at least know what you don't know. If you pretend that you know what you don't know, then your learning stops. And then you'll never be able to learn the fundamentals. If the fundamentals are not learned, then you cannot build on top of that. கொஞ்ச நாள் you will find that you don't like your job, என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு புரியாது, you will feel left out, meetings you will stop participating. So all this is likely to happen. So look for create an environment around you where people can be relaxed. They are not judged. If they say that I don't want, if they don't know something, they must be have the courage and not feel guilty in saying that I don't know how to do it. And that is a good entry point to start learning. அதே மாதிரி நீங்களும் இருக்கணும். When you don't know something, just say I don't know. Nothing wrong with it. You are straight from college, right? Even after 10 years of working, a lot of people don't know. அது தெரியலன்னு சொல்லாம தெரிஞ்ச மாதிரி நீங்க தலையாட்டிட்டு இருந்தீங்கன்னா your learning stops. And then you will find that it becomes very difficult for you. Even in your classes, I would suggest that if you don't understand something, just say that you don't understand. See, there's a nuance here, right? நிறைய கேஸ்ல இது மாதிரி நடக்கும். தெரியலன்னு சொல்றீங்க, எனக்கு புரிஞ்சுக்கலன்னு சொல்றீங்க, அவர் இன்னொருத்தர் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணாரு, அப்பயும் புரியாது, இன்னொருத்தர் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணா அப்பயும் புரியாது. So either the person is not able to explain well. People can be excellent programmers, but they may not be very good teachers, right? அந்த மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளம் நிறைய இருக்கும். நீங்க பார்த்தீங்கன்னா they will be very good in the job, very competent in the job, but they may not be great teachers. So அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும், சொல்லுமே புரியாம இருக்கும். Then go learn up something, but don't tell yourself that you've understood it. Don't tell others that you've understood it, because once you say something that you've understood that you've not understood, எது தெரியலையோ அது தெரியுதுன்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா உங்க இன்டர்னலாவே லேர்னிங் ஸ்டாப் ஆகும். அந்த மனசுக்குள்ள உங்களுக்கு தெரியணும், எனக்கு புரிஞ்சுக்கல, I have to learn this ன்னு தெரியணும். Then you can slowly pick it up at the side. Then you can learn from others. An important component. So coming back to autonomy, mastery and purpose, these are the three things that everybody looks for in a job. You are looking for it in your jobs. Those who are working for you are looking for it in their jobs. They are also coming not just to earn money, they are also coming there to be happy, to be joyful. That is also a part of your responsibility. If you put them into a lot of stress, a lot of toxic stress, you are doing your profession a great disservice. It's very easy. ஒருத்தங்க வர்றாங்க, சரியா பண்ணல, கத்தி விட்டுறலாம், right? And you can create unhealthy competition between people, right? They say, children, you don't create a competition saying that, see, that boy is doing much better, why are you not doing? That's the worst form of comparison, right? A lot of managers end up doing that. என்ன அது ஃபைனலா? It creates that office politics, it creates that unhealthy competitiveness. If there is competitiveness, it has to be very healthy, very, very carefully done. Then the culture will remain a little good. And people will find themselves more relaxed, find themselves more open to learning, open to questioning. And that's a very important aspect of the culture. And as managers, you're also custodians of organization's culture. Organizational culture depends on what you do, right? That is why you also always need to lead by example. நீங்க daily office லேட்டா வரீங்க, வந்துட்டு எல்லாரும் டைத்துக்கு வரணும்னு சொன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? எல்லாரும் டைத்துக்கு வரணும், எக்ஸாக்ட் டைத்துக்கு வந்து கேட்டீங்கன்னா you are slipping up on your work, and then but you're expecting everybody else to finish their work in time, and now you will lose credibility pretty fast, right? Nobody will respect your period of time. You have to lead by example. You have to lead by example. Whatever you say, tell others, you will have to follow it first. You know, இது வந்து easy quote where Mahatma Gandhi says, be the change you want to see, right? என்ன change பார்க்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களோ, then you must be that person. Without that, you can keep talking any amount, but nobody is going to take you seriously. People don't look at what you say, people look at what you do. என்ன வேணாலும் பேசலாம், அந்த வார்த்தைக்கு வந்து certain ஒரு அளவுக்கு தான் இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் இருக்கு. People behind that will look at what you're really doing. And therefore, there is no easy way to do this. The only easy way to do it is to become that yourself. So you have to, if you want your people to behave in some way, then you yourself have to behave in that way. You have to lead by example. There is no shortcut. So these are a few things that I thought I would just share with you. There are a few other points, but I don't want it to be just a lecture. I think if there are any questions can be on management, on the topic that I've spoken so far. It can be on the work we do in Jala software. It can be on fintech. It can be in any area that you want. And we can take some questions, and then maybe I can round it off with some more, little bit of points that I want to share. So there's a little more interactive when you don't feel sleepy. So if there are questions in there, you can just ask.
Sir, my name is esteemed, sir. My name is esteemed. I'm from 2024 batch, sir. How did rapid growth of technology change the financial sector?
Very nice question. Thanks. See, இன்னைக்கு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா finance company, technology company வித்தியாசமே இல்லை. I know finance companies that employ more programmers than many tech companies, right? It's almost become the difference வந்து சொல்லவே முடியாது. It's almost working like a software company. இந்த change எதனால வந்தது? A couple of reasons. If you look at finance, ஒரு monolithic finance இல்லை. நிறைய இருக்கு. Fintechல a lot of areas. What is commonly called fintech today is mostly the lending portion, right? Where people are lending, giving credit cards. They're acting as extension of banks. That's how common, people refer to as fintech. There are other kinds of fintechs, for example, market-facing fintech, which is the kind of work that we do. So we don't work with banks, we work with markets. We work with markets in a stock exchange. So there are finance law. See, what is the purpose of finance finally? The purpose of the financial markets, for purpose of banking, is all to raise capital. Is to convert savings to capital. இப்போ நீங்க வந்து சேவ் பண்றீங்க, you're let's say taking home some salary. அதுல வந்து ஒரு 10% you are saving. அந்த சேவிங் என்ன ஆகுது அல்டிமேட்டா பேங்க் போகுது. பேங்க் என்ன பண்றாங்க? they are lending it to an industrialist. இண்டஸ்ட்ரியலிஸ்ட்க்கு அதை டெட்டா கொடுக்குறாங்க, லோனா கொடுக்குறாங்க. இண்டஸ்ட்ரியலிஸ்ட் அவங்க ஓன் கேபிட்டல் போடுறாங்க, இதை லோனை வாங்குறாங்க. they are starting an industry, and then the industry grows. They repay the bank with interest. The bank pays you interest. Correct? அதான் நடக்குது பேங்கிங்ல. So where does your saving go? Saving goes towards capital formation. Capital formation, forming industries, forming companies, buying equipment, holding inventory. So capital formation. இது வந்து ஒரு வழி. is to do capital formation through the banking side. The other way is to do it through the capital markets. Banking side போனா usually என்ன மாதிரி capital வருது? Debt. You are getting loans. நீ பேங்க்ல போய் கடன் வாங்கலாம். நீங்கள் ஒரு 200 ரூபாய்க்கு 200 கோடிக்கு ஒரு இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ஆரம்பிக்கிறீங்க, 200 கோடிக்கு இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ஆரம்பிக்கிறீங்கன்னா நீங்கள் பேங்க்கில் போய் எனக்கு 200 கோடி கடன் தான்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா பேங்க் என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க, நீ முதல்ல ஒரு 100 கோடி உன்னோட பணத்தை போட்டு நான் ஒரு 100 கோடி கடன் தரேன். ஸோ டு ஸ்டார்ட் எனிதிங் டெட் மட்டும் பத்தாது. யூ நீட் யோர் ஓன் மணி, 100 crores of your own money you need, right? Which is the equity. So our own money is called equity. நம்ம கடன் வாங்குறது debt. Capital formation requires both equity and debt. Attempts can work only on equity. It will never work only on debt. Equity and debt combination. So the banking industry takes care of capital formation through debt. The capital markets help capital formation through equity. இப்போ எனக்கு 100 கோடி 200 கோடி இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன், 100 கோடி பேங்க் தரது ரெடியாக இருக்காங்க, 100 கோடி நீங்கள் போடணும்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. என்கிட்ட 100 கோடி பணம் இல்லை. Then what do I do? I have 10 crores of it. I don't have 100 crores. Then I would go and say I want to raise capital. I want to raise equity. So now I will call in people as partners. Please come become my partner. Imagine this happens. என்கிட்ட 10 கோடி இருக்கு, 90 கோடிக்கு I'm going and asking somebody to, ஒருத்தர் வந்து நான் 90 கோடி பணம் போடுறேன், எதுக்கும் பார்ட்னர் சொல்றேன். So equity 100 கோடி ஆயிடும். The bank is going to give you 100 crores, 200 crores, you can start the industry. But what is the problem with this? The problem with this, the person who's put 90 crores has much more than your 10 crores. Then the company is virtually his company, it's not your company anymore. Correct? So there is an issue there, right? You don't want to get money from very large investors. So you will probably get money from 5 crores, 7 crores, 6 crores, 3 crores. அது மாதிரி ஒரு 20 இன்வெஸ்டர் வாங்கினா கொஞ்சம் கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக இருக்கும். 15 லட்சம், 20 லட்சம், 10 லட்சம், 5 லட்சம், 10,000, 5,000 ரூபா கூட வாங்கினா இன்னும் கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக இருக்கும். ஆனால் 5,000 ரூபா வாங்க நிறைய பேர் போட்டுப்பாங்க. கரெக்ட்? 5,000 lot of people have to fund. That is where the capital market comes. The capital markets will go and get you investors, small investors, who will become your partners. Correct? You can issue shares, you can go for an IPO, you can issue shares, people will give you money, and then they become your partners. You can raise equity. So capital formation, ultimately the role of all fintech companies, to look at it, essentially is capital formation. Right? Other than that, which is your consumer finance, consumer finance, credit cards, which is also sort of a loan product in many ways. You're giving loans to consumers, you're not giving loans to institutions, not to companies, you're giving loans to consumers, which in turn flows towards consumption and economy. So banking side pathina, why is technology so important? Technology is so important in the banking side because you need to assess whether I can give a loan to somebody. இப்போ நான் பணம் கொடுத்தா திருப்பி தருவாரா அப்படின்னு அசஸ் பண்ணணும்ல. ஏன்னா banking is all about loans, right? I'm giving a loan. அவர் திருப்பி பணம் தராட்டி bank will lose money, right? So how do I assess whether a person will give me back loans? I have to do analytics, right? Background based analytics பண்ணி, I have to find out his cash flows, our banking transaction past என்ன பண்ணிருக்காரு, அவர் இதுவரைக்கும் வாங்கின கடன்லாம் கொடுத்துருக்காரா, இது மாதிரி few things I look at it and then I assess the person. Of course, sometimes I look at whether என்ன assets pledge பண்றாருன்னு. So that requires technology. I need to take a lot of data from people. I need to do some comparison. But Citibank they're using a story. Citibank வந்து நீங்க I'm talking even about 20 years ago. Citibank certain towns of India வந்து நீங்க அப்ளை பண்ணீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு credit card தர மாட்டாங்க. Because they know that the delinquency rates from those towns are very high. So they have this kind of data analytics platform that tells them இந்த மாதிரி இடத்துல இருந்து வந்ததுன்னா பணம் திரும்பி வராது அப்படின்றது உங்களுக்கு ஐடியா இருக்கு. And that requires tech because they have a lot of data. That requires tech. Just like an investor doesn't want to depend on big investors. He wants to get money from small investors. Banks also do not want to get deposits from big depositors. பெரிய டெபாசிட் நீங்க பணம் போடுவாங்க, நாளைக்கு பணம் எடுத்துவாங்க, நாளைக்கு இன்னொரு இடத்துல 1/2% ஜாஸ்தி கிடைச்சுன்னா இங்க இருக்க பணம்லாம் அந்த பேங்க் போயிடும். So they don't want to be at the mercy of a few big depositors, right? They also want to get deposits from a lot of small people. அதுதான் உங்களுக்கு ஸ்டேபிளா lots of stocks. அவ்வளோ பேருக்கு பணம்னா உங்களுக்கு என்ன மாதிரி சிஸ்டம் வரும்? You have 1 crore customers, 2 crore customers, 3 crore customers. You need to have very solid systems to work. So finance and technology, banking side and technology very, very closely linked. அது பிரிக்கவே முடியாது. அதே மாதிரி நீங்கள் மார்க்கெட் சைடு வந்தீங்கன்னா மார்க்கெட் சைடு அண்ட் டெக்னாலஜி ஈவன் க்ளோஸ்லி, ஈவன் மோர் க்ளோஸ்லி. ஏன்னா மார்க்கெட் சைடில் என்ன சேலஞ்சஸ் இருக்குது? மார்க்கெட்டில் ப்ரைஸ் மாறிட்டு. எவ்வளோ பேர் ஸ்டாக் மார்க்கெட் பார்த்துருக்கீங்க? ஸ்டாக் மார்க்கெட் யாராவது அக்கௌண்ட் வச்சுருக்கீங்களா? Anybody? One or two. Okay. So நீங்கள் ஸ்டாக் மார்க்கெட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ப்ரைஸஸ் மாறிட்டே இருக்கு இல்லையா? ப்ரைஸஸ் மாறுது. So you have to buy, sell before the price changes. So you need to put in orders. ஆர்டர் போட்டிங்கன்னா பணம் இருக்கான்னு அவங்க வெரிஃபை பண்ணணும். இன்னைக்கு ஒரு நாளைக்கு என்எஸ்சியில் எவ்வளோ ஆர்டர்ஸ் வருதுன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? என்எஸ்சி இஸ் ஓப்பன் ஃப்ரம் 9:15 to 3:30. காலைல 9:15 ஆரம்பிச்சிடும், 3:30 மணிக்கு முடியும். 6.25 மணி நேரம். இந்த 6.25 மணி நேரத்தில் எவ்வளோ ஆர்டர்ஸ் வருது அவங்க சிஸ்டமில்? ஏதாவது கெஸ் பண்ண முடியுமா? யாராவது ஒரு கெஸ்? How many orders are they getting from various people? 5 crores? Anybody else? 10? 100 crores? Okay. On a good day, they get 2,500 crores of orders. 2,000, not 2,500 crores of rupees. I am talking of 2,500 crore numbers of orders. And buy and sell, put together. How many trades happen in a day? Idea இருக்கா? 2,500 கோடி ஆர்டர் வருது இந்த 6.25 மணி நேரத்தில். எவ்வளோ ட்ரேட் நடக்குது? எவ்வளோ பை அண்ட் செல் மேட்ச் ஆகுது? 5,000 பை அண்ட் செல். 2,000 கோடி வருது. 5,000 தான் மேட்ச் ஆகுமா? 1 lakh? Not in rupees. I'm not talking in rupee terms. I'm talking of number of trades. Rupee terms is much higher, but I'm talking of numbers. On a good day, about 25 to 28 crore trades. Correct. 2,500 கோடி ட்ரேட் ஒரு அந்த 6.25 மணி நேரத்தில் வர்றதுலையும் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் என்ன பண்ணணும்? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து அந்த ஆர்டர் போட்டு பணம் இருக்கான்னு செக் பண்ணணும் இல்லையா? நான் கூட போய் எனக்கு 30 கோடிக்கு ஷேர் வேணும்னு ஆர்டர் போட்டால் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் அக்செப்ட் பண்ணக்கூடாது இல்லையா? பணம் கொடுத்துட்டாரா மார்க்கெட் செக் பண்ணணும். செக் பண்ணிட்டு தான் ஆர்டர் அக்செப்ட் பண்ணணும். ஆர்டர் அக்செப்ட் பண்ணதுக்கப்புறம் மேட்சிங் நடக்கும். மேட்சிங் நடந்ததுக்கப்புறம் ட்ரேட் போகணும். ட்ரேட் போனதுக்கப்புறம் உங்களுக்கு மார்க்கெட் ஃபீட் வரும் இல்லையா? நியூஸ் பேப்பர் இதில் டிவிலலாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஸ்டிக்கர் ஓடுது இல்லை? இந்த ஸ்டாக் இந்த ப்ரைஸ், இந்த ஸ்டாக் இந்த ப்ரைஸ் வருது இல்லையா? அது போகணும். என்எஸ்சி வெப்சைட்டில் போனாலும் அதே மாதிரி டிக்கர் ஓடுது. நீங்கள் ப்ளூம்பர்க் டெர்மினல் போனீங்கன்னா டிக்கர் இருக்கும். ஸோ அவங்களுக்கெல்லாம் அந்த 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 ப்ரைஸஸ் நடந்துக்குன்னு சொல்லி அதை டிசமினேட் பண்ணும். இது எல்லாம் 6.25 மணி நேரத்தில் போகும். ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு என்ன மாதிரி ஐடி இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர் இருக்கும்? அவங்க ஐடி இல்லாட்டி மேனேஜ் பண்ண முடியாது இல்லையா? they cannot manage this problem. இது வந்து என்எஸ்சி மட்டும். பிஎஸ்சி does maybe 1/3, 1/4 of this BSc does. அதே மாதிரி commodity exchanges, MC exchanges, they do like BSc. BSc கொஞ்சம் கம்மி, அது மாதிரி அவங்க பண்றாங்க. So the number of orders and trades at the market side also நீங்க டெக்லாம் பண்ணவே முடியாது. எக்ஸ்சேஞ்சும் பண்ண முடியாது, புரோக்கர்ஸும் பண்ண முடியாது, இன்வெஸ்டர்ஸும் பண்ண முடியாது. நீங்க இப்போ இன்வெஸ்டர்ஸ் போனீங்கன்னா நீங்க எவ்வளவு பேர் ஸ்டாக் புரோக்கர் ஆஃபீஸ் போயிருக்கீங்க? Anybody is not to a stock broking office? You've gone? Okay. 1 or 2 people have gone. So stock broking office la pota ஒருத்தர் அங்க உட்கார்ந்து ஆர்டர் பஞ்ச் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு. நீங்க வாங்க சொன்னீங்கன்னா பைன்னு சொல்லி ஆர்டர் போடுவாரு, விற்க சொன்னீங்கன்னா செல்லுன்னு சொல்லி ஆர்டர் போடுவாரு. இப்போ எவ்வளோ ஆர்டர்ஸ் இந்த 2,500 கோடியில் எவ்வளோ ஆர்டர்ஸ் அது மாதிரி வருது? It's a very small percent. I think it's something like 10%. பாக்கி 90% எங்க இருந்து வருது? The orders are being generated by algorithms. They are algorithms trading. That is order algo trade. Somebody has heard, who's heard of algo trading? Yeah, you heard of algo trading. So almost 80-90% of the orders are algo trading. Algo trading and a machine order placement. Nobody is placing orders. So computer software program is placing orders. It's placing an order to buy, placing an order to sell. It's placing an order to modify, cancel. All that is happening through software. So technology வந்து exchange தேவை, brokers தேவை, investors தேவை. Market side, banking side is very similar. அதே மாதிரி கன்சியூமர் பேங்கிங் சைடில் யூ நீட் டு ஹேவ் டெக் பிகாஸ் யூர் ஹேண்ட்லிங் லார்ஜ் நம்பர் ஆஃப் கிளைண்ட்ஸ். கன்சியூமர் பேங்கிங்ல ஏன் லார்ஜ் நம்பர் ஆஃப் கிளைண்ட்ஸ் இருக்காங்க? பிகாஸ் இட்ஸ் கன்சியூமர், தட்ஸ் நம்பர் 1. நம்பர் 2, margins are much better in consumer banking, right? நீங்கள் கிரெடிட் கார்டில் ஒரு ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணுறீங்க, 10,000 ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணுறீங்க, டியூ டேட் வருது, டியூ டேட்டில் நீங்கள் பே பண்ணல, என்ன இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட் சார்ஜ் பண்ணுறாங்க உங்களுக்கு? வாட் இஸ் த இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட் யூ நீட் டு பே ஆன் தி டிலே? ஒரு மாதத்துக்கு என்ன பர்சன்டேஜ்? 21% per year or 21% per month is 21% per year, of course calculated for the month, correct? It's normally like 36% per year, 36% per annum, which is almost like 3%. அப்புறம் நீங்கள் 100 ரூபாய்க்கு ஒரு சாமான் வாங்குறீங்க, அமேசானில் வாங்குறீங்க, அதை டியூ டேட்டில் பே பண்ணல, then they will charge you interest at the rate of almost 3% per month and some penalties. So it's a major source of income for them, right? And they want it from a lot of small people. So credit card வாங்கி நீங்க கரெக்ட்டா பணம் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா you are a very bad customer for the bank. The bank is not making any money from you. They make money only when you default. So இதெல்லாம் மேனேஜ் பண்ணணும். அவங்களுக்கு டிஃபால்ட் வேணும், ஆனால் டிஃபால்ட் ரொம்ப வரக்கூடாது. டிஃபால்ட் ரொம்ப இருந்தால் பணம் திருப்பி வராது. So it's a little bit of managing that is the whole game, and that requires a lot of tech. Without tech you can't do this. நீங்க எவ்வளவு பேர் UPI யூஸ் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க? ஸ்கேன் பண்ணி போட்டுருக்கீங்களா? QR code ஸ்கேன் பண்ணி போட்டுருக்கீங்களா? Everybody is using, right? So what kind of tech runs that infrastructure? It's a payment system, right? What kind of tech runs that infrastructure? It's amazing tech, right? ஒரு செகண்ட்ல பணம் உங்க அக்கவுண்ட்ல இருந்து அந்த அக்கவுண்ட் போயிடுது. So in any area you look at it, financing tech பிரிக்கவே முடியாது. It is there in every area. Thanks. Any other questions? Yeah.
Abhishek from first year MBA.
Yeah.
What are the current trends in finance market?
Oh, ரொம்ப broad question. ரொம்ப broad question, difficult to answer. I will try my best. So since you asked financial markets, so financial markets now the type of market. If you look at markets, there are 4 types, 4 major types. One of the equity market. Equity market is where you buy and sell shares, and the money, the original purpose is to form capital, to give equity to investors. You want to become a co-owner of a company. That's the original purpose. அதுக்கப்புறம் ஷேர் வாங்கி விற்கிறது செகண்டரி மார்க்கெட். That is the equity market, is one market. The other big market is the FX market. FX market is where you exchange one currency for another currency. Dollar rupee, dollar pound. Indiaல பார்த்தா dollar rupee is a very actively traded market. Another market is the interest rate market. Interest rate market na you can buy and sell bonds. You can buy and sell interest derivatives like interest rate swaps, interest rate options. அதெல்லாம் வாங்கி வைக்கலாம். இத you are buying and selling instruments whose value will change based on the interest rate. இப்போ இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட் 6% இருந்து 7% ஆச்சுன்னா சில இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸோட விலை கூடும், சில இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸோட விலை குறையும். அந்த இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸ் நம்ம வாங்கி விற்கிறது. ஸோ ஒரு இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்டை நான் வாங்குறேன், அது கூடும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ இப்போ பாண்ட்ஸ் வாங்குறீங்க, எவ்வளோ தூரம் உங்களுக்கு இப்போ தான் செய்திருக்கீங்க MBA, you probably know another 1 year or so you will learn this. இப்போ நான் பாண்ட்ஸ் வாங்குறேன், ஃபிக்ஸ்ட் ரேட் பாண்ட்ஸ் வாங்குறேன். I buy a bond that is giving, let's say, 7% interest. இந்த கவர்மெண்ட்ல 7% interest bond 7% per annum, but they will give you 2 interest. ஒரு half yearல ஒரு interest வரும், அடுத்த half yearல interest வரும். So the interest rate is 7% per annum, right? So அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு பாண்ட் வாங்கியிருக்கேன், 7% பாண்ட் வாங்குறேன். இன்னைக்கு 100 ரூபாய்க்கு இஷ்யூ பண்ணுறாங்க, நான் 100 ரூபாய்க்கு வாங்கிடுறேன். ஒரு 2 மாதம் கழிச்சு RBI says that the interest rate is now 9%, not 7%. இந்த பாண்டோட வேல்யூ என்ன ஆகிடும்? குறைஞ்சிடும். ஏன்னா
only 7%, right? In the bond 7% தான் வட்டி கிடைக்கும். So the new bonds will be getting now 9%. Right? So இந்த பாண்ட் நீங்க விற்க போனீங்கன்னா எல்லாரும் கொஞ்சம் கம்மியாக கொடுன்னு சொல்லி கேட்பாங்க, விலையை குறைச்சு கொடுன்னு சொல்லி கேட்பாங்க. ஸோ பாண்டோட விலை இறங்கிடும். ஸோ இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட் கூட்டுதுன்னா பாண்டோட விலை இறங்குது. அதே மாதிரி இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட் குறைஞ்சதுன்னா பாண்டோட விலை கூடுது. ஸோ யூ ஹேவ் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸ் ஹூஸ் ப்ரைஸஸ் டிபெண்ட் ஆன் த இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி பாண்ட், அந்த மாதிரி இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸை நான் வாங்கலாம், விற்கலாம் இன் ஆன்டிசிபேஷன். நான் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட் ஏறும்னு நினச்சேன்னா சில பாண்ட்ஸை வாங்கலாம், சில இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸ் வாங்கலாம். இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட் இறங்கும்னு நினச்ச வேறு சில இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸ் வாங்கலாம், அதை விற்கலாம். ஸோ ஐ எம் டேக்கிங் அ கால் ஆன் த இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட். ஸோ அது இன்னொரு மார்க்கெட், மூணாவது மார்க்கெட் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட். ஸோ ஈக்விட்டி, எஃப்எக்ஸ், இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட். The fourth market is the commodity market. Commodity market is where you buy and sell oil, gold, silver, agricultural commodities, wheat, corn. இதெல்லாம் commodity market. இது 4 major markets. So trend and keta financial market trends and keta, see, we are not talking of the prices, right? Prices கொடுத்து குறையுது, cycle இருக்கு. If you are interested in the stock market, equity markets பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, equity markets go through a cycle. So India currently almost all stocks are little overpriced compared to historical pricing. எல்லாமே கொஞ்சம் ஜாஸ்தி. ஸோ இந்த ரேட்டில் வாங்கினீங்கன்னா ஏறாதுன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களா? சொல்ல முடியாது. இந்த மார்க்கெட்டில் வாங்கினா ஏறாதுன்னு 2 வருஷமாக சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க, 2 வருஷமாக டபுள் ட்ரிபிள் ஆயிடுச்சு. ஸோ ஸ்டாக் மார்க்கெட் cannot be predicted. ஸோ அந்த ட்ரெண்டுன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா there's a lot of, இப்போ இந்தியாவில் the main trend in the stock market, if you ask me, is that we have become a little independent of foreign funds. Foreign inflows வந்து கொஞ்சம் independent ஆகிட்டோம். நான் foreign funds நாளைக்கு வந்து பணம் இந்தியா கொண்டு வரலைன்னா நம்ம மார்க்கெட் ஒன்றும் பொத்துரு விட போகிறதில்லை. ஏன்னா lot of Indians are beginning to save. இப்போ எவ்வளோ இந்தியன்ஸ் have SIP, SIPனா systematic investment plan. அந்த இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் பிளான் நீங்கள் சேர்ந்துட்டீங்கன்னா எவ்ரி மந்த் யூ சென்ட் சம் மணி. மாதம் 10,000 ரூபா அனுப்பிச்சிங்கன்னா அந்த 10,000 ரூபாய் பூல் பண்ணி மியூச்சுவல் ஃபண்ட்ஸ் பை ஸ்டாக்ஸ். இப்போ அந்த பணம் ஏகப்பட்ட பணம் போகுது மார்க்கெட்டில், கனாபனான்னு போகுது பணம். therefore ஃபாரின் இன்வெஸ்டர்ஸ் வந்து பணம் கொண்டு வரலைனாலும் இந்தியன் இன்வெஸ்டர்ஸோட சேவிங்ஸ் போகுது இல்லையா, அது இஸ் கீப்பிங் த மார்க்கெட் ஆஃப். ஸோ த பிக் ட்ரெண்ட் இன் தி இந்தியன் ஸ்டாக் மார்க்கெட் இஸ் இண்டிபெண்டன்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் ஃபாரின் இன்ஃப்ளூஸ். அது ஒரு பெரிய ட்ரெண்ட். இன்னொன்று பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ ரீசெண்டாக ஒரு கிராஷ் இன் தி யூஎஸ் மார்க்கெட்ஸ் அண்ட் ஆல் தட், இந்தியா வாஸ் நாட் தட் அஃபெக்டட். ஏன்னா இந்தியாவில் தி ரீட்டைல் இன்வெஸ்டர்ஸ் கண்டினியூ டு சென்ட் மணி, அது அவ்வளோ இம்பாக்ட் இல்லை. மற்ற ஊரில் இருந்த மாதிரி இம்பாக்ட் இல்லை. அஃப்கோர்ஸ் லாங் டர்மில் இருக்கும் இம்பாக்ட் இருக்கும், பட் ரைட் நவ் there is no impact. So that is probably one big trend that is happening in the stock market. FX market இன்னும் நடந்துருக்கு. FX marketல என்ன நடந்துருக்கு? வேர்ல்ட் வைட் everybody wants to get out of the dollar. Everybody says that dollar has been abused, right? American ability to print dollars has been abused. They have been printing too much of money, and the world is basically paying for it. So people want to get out of the dollar as a central currency. They want some other currency to come, but there is no alternative today. So various other things are happening. China is trying to bring its currency. The BRICS countries are trying to bring a common currency. So there are things happening there. Other than very trend in the forex market. Interest rate market lo paatha, interest rate markets are very closely following the US federal interest rates. And the interest rate koodudana generally ella interest rates koodudhu. Illadi ella panam anga thiri poidudhu ya. So US Fed வந்து interest rate கூட்டினா என்ன ஆகுது? 4% பதில் 4% கொடுக்குற 5% கொடுக்குறா என்ன ஆகுது? மற்ற ஊரில் இருக்க பணமெல்லாம் அங்கே வந்தது. ஏன்னா 5% கூட்டுட்டாங்க. ஸோ மற்ற அசெட்ஸ் எல்லாம் விற்று அந்த பணமெல்லாம் யூஎஸ் போயிடுது. இட் கோஸ் பேக் டு தி யூஎஸ். அண்ட் தேர்ஃபோர் எவ்ரிவேர் எல்ஸ் தி மார்க்கெட்ஸ் ஃபால். ஏன்னா மற்ற இடத்துல விற்கிறாங்க. So a little bit of that, interest rates certainly follow what is happening in the US. So in the US what has happened, right? They went through that quantitative easing. They've been printing a lot of money. It's still not clear whether they are out of trouble. So these are the major things that are happening. So dollar weakness is reflecting in a little bit of gold strength. Gold is strengthening a little. Commodities are strengthening. Commodities are real assets, right? Unlike equities and bonds or paper assets. The commodities are real assets. If you own gold, you own gold. If you own oil, you own oil. நாளைக்கு எவ்வளோ இன்ஃப்ளேஷன் வந்தால் ஆயிலுக்கு டிமாண்ட் இருக்கும், அதனோட வேலையும் கூடிடும். ஸோ commodity assets, commodity is little bit of importance back to commodity now. ஆனால் இதெல்லாம் trends are just emerging. இதெல்லாம் ஒன்றும் nothing has reached any conclusion, but these are just trends. Any other questions? Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Hari from Kathir. My question is, how did you
imply your knowledge from Philips and UL to your business, your previous Philips and UL?
Oh, okay. ரொம்ப வருஷமாச்சு, மறந்தே போச்சு. But I will tell you what I can. See, at the time I passed out in engineering, Philips was the only major electronics. I did electronics engineering, and then I wanted to get into electronics company. So the only big company that around that time was Philips, and then we joined, quite a few of us joined Philips. And I was really struck by how little original work is done in things from Netherlands, all அங்கிருந்து வரும், இங்கே சும்மா அசம்பிள் பண்ணி விட்டுருவாங்க, சீல் போட்டு கொடுப்பாங்க. Absolutely no R&D going on in India, no development going on in India, and that was really an eye-opener for me at that time. They would sell all sorts of things. They'd sell medical equipment, they'd sell that, this and that. India was just a market. They were not using India for anything else. And that was an eye-opener for me. And then I knew how far behind the country was at that time. When you are getting out of engineering college and all that, you are dreaming about designing stuff, designing that, designing this. There's absolutely no R&D work was happening in India at that time. Now the situation is very different. There's a lot of work happening in India. And that was one reason why I decided to move out of engineering and into management, because at that time there seemed to be just no options in India, within India. I didn't want to go abroad, so didn't have an option. So anyway, Hindustan Lever was an eye-opener for a very different reason. Everything that I'm telling you about in terms of how a management culture should be was there in Hindustan Lever. Hindustan Lever was an excellently managed company. It is a company where you can look up to so many people. Okay, there will be so many role models, which was not the case in many other companies, right? Hindustan Lever somehow had that culture. They had a culture where they would encourage you, they would be a little tolerant of errors, mistakes, they would encourage you to take some risks, and they won't judge you if you fail, and they'll support you. Another culture on the whole. But still it was an MNC culture. Whatever said and done is an MNC culture, it was not an Indian company. And Indians could only rise so much, but innately that has changed. A lot of MNCs, Indians have risen to the top. But the quality of talent, Indian talent there was extremely good. They could run any company anywhere in the world. But then because they were Indians, I think their rise was a little slow. So that was another eye-opening experience for me from Hindustan Lever. So these, I think, working in an organization gives you that perspective as to how you felt when you were in that organization, and you want to treat people the same way when you run your own organization. That way, that was very big. If that had not happened, I would not have had that intimate experience with being managed. Right? And then I know what I didn't like there, I don't want our people to go through. What I like there, I want our people to experience. So that way, I think it gave me that perspective which I would not have got any other way. Thanks. Yeah. How much time do we have? I hope I'm not overshoot the time. You just let me know when we need to stop, we'll stop. Yeah.
Myself Akash, I'm from Trivedi. But how do you assess the financial risk in investment portfolio?
Okay. So the question was, how do you assess the financial risk in investment portfolio? You have to start by understanding what do they mean by risk. Okay, risk means different things, right? So when you go and take an insurance policy,
I'll just wait a little. I think there's some excitement. Okay, no problem. See, when you go take an insurance policy, right, you want to insure yourself against the risk, right? Life insurance policy, in case somebody dies, you want some compensation, right? Key member of the family dies, the rest of the family should not be left in trouble, so you want to cover. Medical insurance, in case there is a medical event, there is a hospital expenses, you want to be covered. So that is you always take, that is our general notion of risk. But in finance, the term risk is used slightly differently. Risk is uncertainty. Uncertainty can be on the upside, can also be on the downside. Right? If you have bought an asset, 10 ரூபாய்க்கு asset வாங்கிருக்கேன். அந்த asset வந்து 10 ரூபா 10 வருஷம் 20 வருஷத்துக்கு 10 ரூபாயே இருக்குன்னா, the risk manager is super happy. He will say this asset has zero risk. Correct? அதோட price நகரவே இல்லை, அப்படியே 10 ரூபா இருக்கு. But is that a good asset? Nobody wants to buy such an asset, right? If it is not changing in value, you don't want to buy that. So, risk manager க்கு 10 ரூபா ஷேர் நாளைக்கு 15 ரூபா போனாலும் ரிஸ்கி. ஏன்னா அவர் என்ன சொல்றாரு, அவ்வளவு ஷார்ப்பா ஏறுது, அவ்வளவு ஷார்ப்பா இறங்கலாம். Correct? Somebody can have a long position, somebody can have a short position. If you are short, அதாவது நீங்க ஷேர் வித்துருந்தீங்கன்னா விலை ஏறுதுன்னா you make a loss. Right? If one side விலை ஏறும்போது the people who have the shares make money, the people who have sold the shares lose money, right? If a particular derivative transaction la pathina, it is zero sum game. One person makes money, the other person loses money. So sharp 5 ரூபாய் ஏறணும் அவருக்கு ரிஸ்க் தான், 5 ரூபாய் ஏறணும் ரிஸ்க் தான். So how do you measure risk in பார்த்தா assessment of risk is just assessment of volatility. You are assessing the volatility of the prices. இப்போ இன்னைக்கு 10 ரூபாய் இருக்கு ஒரு ஷேர், நாளைக்கு என்ன போகும், 12 போலாமா 13 போலாமா 11 8 ரூபா 9 ரூபா போலாமா, யாருக்கு தெரியும்? இன்னைக்கு இருக்க பிரைஸ் நாளைக்கு என்ன இருக்கும்னு யாராலும் கெஸ் பண்ண முடியாது. இன்னைக்கு இருக்க பிரைஸ் நாளைக்கு 12 ரூபாய்க்கு போகும்னு தெரிஞ்சதுன்னா அவருக்கு ரிஸ்க் மேனேஜர் இருக்காரு, அவர் எல்லாத்தையும் வித்துட்டு அந்த ஷேர் வாங்கிடுறாங்க. அவர் he will become an investor, he will make tons of money, right? Nobody knows what the market is going to do tomorrow. Nobody knows. So but then what you want to do is, இன்னைக்கு 10 ரூபாய் ஷேர் நாளைக்கு 12க்கு மேல போறதுக்கு என்ன சான்ஸ், நாளைக்கு 8 ரூபாய்க்கு கீழே போறதுக்கு என்ன சான்ஸ், அப்படினாவது you can find and you can assess. What is the probability it will go by more than 20% up? What is the probability go by more than 20% down? இப்போ நான் வந்து உங்களுக்கு கேட்குறேன், I am giving you ஒரு stock, let's say Tata Steel stock கொடுத்துட்டு I am asking you what is the probability that the price tomorrow will go by 10% or go down by 10%? அப்படின்னு கேட்டால் நீங்க எப்படி அப்ரோச் பண்ணீங்க? How will you approach this problem? I am asking you what is the probability? Is there a good chance that Tata Steel price will go up by 10% or down by 10% in one day? அப்படின்னு கேட்டால் எப்படி பார்ப்பீங்க அதை? Anyone? A beginner's guess is usually the best guess, so don't worry. So you can just guess. Okay, one way to do it is to look at Tata Steel's past movement of prices. So last 5 years get to price rise. ஒவ்வொரு நாளைக்கு எவ்வளவு மூவ் ஆயிருக்கு பாருங்க. Let us say ஒரு நாள் 1% மேல கூடி இருக்கு, இன்னொரு நாள் 1% கீழே குறைஞ்சிருக்கு, இன்னொரு நாள் 2%, இன்னொரு நாள் 6%, இன்னொரு நாள் 3.5%. இவ்வளவுதான் மூவ் ஆகுது ஒரு நாளைக்கு. 5 வருஷமா பார்க்கணும். ஒரு நாளைக்கு 2% மேல போல கீழே வரல. What is the chance tomorrow to go up by 10%? Almost zero. Correct? Historically last 5 years பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த 10% ஒரு நாள்ல கிராஸ் பண்ணுது, 2% கிராஸ் பண்ணுது. அப்ப you can only say the chances of it crossing 10% in one day is zero. What is the probability it will cross 1.5%? Now it becomes a little more difficult, right?
ஏன்னா சில நாள் 100% மேலே போயிருக்கு, சில நாள் 100% கீழே இறங்கியிருக்கு. But still you can take a guess. You can say last 5 years எவ்வளோ நாள் இருக்குது, 1000 days இருக்குது, உதாரணம் 1250 days, ஒரு வருஷத்துக்கு 250 working days, let's say. So 5 yearsக்கு 1250 working days. 1150 working days எடுத்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 100 நாள் it has gone up by more than 100% or it has come down by 100%. What is the chance it will go by? So it is only in about 10% or 8% of the cases it has gone up by more than 1.5%. It has come down by more than 1.5%. Therefore, you can just take a guess and say maybe the chance that will happen, it can go up by 1.5% tomorrow or come down by 1.5% tomorrow. It's like 8%. Right? Last 1,000 days, like 8% of the days it has gone up by more than that. That's a good guess. Right? It's still a guess. நாளைக்கு நிச்சயமா 1% தான் போகும், நாளைக்கு நிச்சயமா நாளைக்கு market பயங்கரமா இறங்கி 10% கூட போகலாம். We don't know. Nobody can guarantee that. But we are just making an informed guess. So most of risk analysis is just this, estimating volatility. Estimating future volatility based mostly on past volatility. On past எப்படி இருந்தது volatility பார்த்து futureல இப்படி இருக்கலாம்னு சொல்லி estimate பண்ணலாம். That is the general approach to managing risk. Of course, then there are other issues in a portfolio. You want to take risk, right? You don't want zero risk. And risk is not a very chance. Risk is not a very risk is defined like that. The possibility will go up or the possibility will come down. So you want stocks that have certain riskiness. But if the stock is risky, you want a little more return. Right? Number risky stock. If a bank deposit போடுறீங்க, bank deposit risky, 7% உங்களுக்கு interest கிடைக்கும், return கிடைக்கும். Suppose you invest in another instrument that is very risky, then you will expect at least 10% return, you will expect at least 12% return, right? You will not settle for 7%. And 7% of bank interest கிடைக்கும், 0 risk கிடைக்கும். எதுக்கான risk இருக்கும் அப்படிதானே கேட்டீங்க. Those are the other dynamics that come when you are assessing risk. Then the risk versus the reward and so on. Those are the other parameters that come in when you assess the portfolio. I hope I have answered the question. Any other questions? Yeah, one last question.
Sir, I am Madhav from RLIMS, and I am going to ask you some management related questions, sir. What made you start your own business, and what is the biggest risk you took, and how did you overcome that?
Okay. Thanks, good question. So the question is, I don't know how many of you heard it well. The question is, why did I get into this business, essentially, and what are the major difficulties? Let's keep it short. See, during my, I think it's just a question of how you think. During the second job at RLIMS, I somehow felt that I had to do something on my own. I don't know how it happened, it just happened. There was a family situation, I come back to Madurai, my father was unwell, I was here for some time, and decided just then to quit my job and continue with the business here. My father already had a stockbroking business, a small stockbroking business, just joined that and continued. And in hindsight, the markets were very kind to us, the markets were very good during that time, and then we did well. And then we moved into software. I came out of broking, moved into software in the year 2000, roughly 2000, 2002. So in broking there was not too many challenges. There were challenges. I don't know how many of you heard of something called, there used to be something called a back delivery in broking. Yeah, I don't know how many of you know that. How many of you know of demat accounts, depository accounts? Yeah. How many of you know that one of the important contributors to the depository account was starting the deposit system was Madurai? You probably don't know. See, at one point of time what happened was, prior to the depository system, there used to be physical shares. And the physical shares used to be bought and sold, shares would go along and on. And there was one gang in Madurai that was abusing the system like crazy. They would go to the court and take a stop transfer order from the court, saying, I was taking all these shares from this bus stand to this bus stand, and then I lost those shares, and therefore please give me an order to stop transfer of these shares. And the market value of the shares, I mean the face value of the shares will be 10 rupees, right? The market value could be 1,000 rupees. The judge doesn't know. Judge doesn't know what the worth of the shares are. He goes by the face value. It is some 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees. The market value is some 10 lakhs, right? But then he doesn't know. So he'd say, okay, 3,000 rupees share, stay granted. One local small magistrate here would give a stop transfer order. And that would go to the company's registrars. And the registrar, when it ultimately goes for transfer, your title is no more valid. It's like buying a land that has no title. What happens if you buy a land that has no title? It becomes an illegal holding, right? That's not yours. You'll have to give it back at some time. So I invest 10 lakh rupees, I get these share certificates, I send them for transfer to my name. It will come back saying there's a court order, I cannot transfer. It started as a trickle, then became a big flood. Madurai used to be just flooded with stock transfers. It all happened in the Madurai court. And then the Economic Times carried a big article saying that this scam was going on in Madurai for some time. It was so bad that one point of time we had to take affidavits from people who were selling shares. They would come to our office and we were like advocates saying, so sign this agreement saying that if it comes back then I am responsible, all that, you have to sign all of it. So we were taking all those precautions before we could sell those shares. Then this became a major problem, and then then the government said we need to stop it. Then they came up with this concept of electronically holding shares. And this was one of the things that electronic holding shares has always been there in the rest of the world. But this was a catalyst. This was a catalyst that speeded up the implementation of the depository. And yeah, so it's not a very proud thing to be in Madurai, but it happened in Madurai. Anyway, so that was one of the big risks in the stockbroking business. In the software business, I think the biggest problem that we had is as we are starting up was mostly how we retain people. So when we started, it was year 2002-03 was when we were just forming the company, right? The company was formed in 2000, but really people were beginning to join in 2003-04. So that was the time when Y2K had become the peak, and all these companies, Infosys, TCS, Wipro, HCL, were all growing 100% every year. Have you seen companies grow 100% every year? I saw TCS growing 100% every year for almost like 4 or 5 years. They were doubling every year. And they were also recruiting a lot of people. Therefore, we had a lot of trouble retaining people. And those kind of troubles are what keeps you humble. Now, he introduced me as somebody who is humble. It is those kind of problems that you realize that it is so difficult to run a business. It's not easy at all. And yeah, so that was one of the biggest challenges that we faced in the software business.
Thank you for your wonderful session. I remember, I trust Kathir sir knows about it, Madurai Shares and Stock Trading Floor, which was there in Kamanathan, Chamber of Commerce. We used to have a share trading floor in Madurai, equal to a stock exchange. We used to make multiple copies. It is not electronic exchange. We used to make multiple copies with carbon sheets. We used to make multiple copies, one with the exchange, one with the broker, one with the seller. I trust you people should watch. Again, it is an old movie to you, movie Guru. Guru movie of Mani Ratnam used to talk about the outcry system of stock trading. So you should go and see how this outcry system of stock trading was happening. Then only you will realize the challenges. So it's time to thank our guest, not a guest, he is from Madurai. Many thanks from our heart, from our bottom of the heart, Mr. Kathir. Thank you for your wonderful session. So I'd like to welcome the birthday boy, Bala Murugal, to hand over the memento to the guest. Anna, Anna. Thank you all. Thank you for the wonderful session. It's our humble duty to give a big round of applause to Mr. Kathir. Thank you. We will again keep in touch with Mr. Kathir. We will invite him for some other program. For the second year, used to have forum sessions and we have fintech sessions. At that time, we will definitely invite you for a session. Thank you all. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.